When it comes to rhythm in piano and music in general, things can get very complicated. Last week we learned the absolute basics of rhythm. We learned what quarter notes are, half notes and whole notes. But today we're going to focus on eighth notes. Learning and mastering eighth notes is basically the bridge between a beginner pianist to an early intermediate pianist. So it's very important for you to learn. Let's get into it. An eighth note has a value of half a beat. That means in one beat you'll have 2 eighth notes. And in a measure of 4 beats, you'll have 8 eighth notes. I'm going to play through the quarter notes and the eighth notes and you'll hear how that sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you see, there are only numbers by the first eighth note in the beat. And in order to count the second eighth note in that beat, you just need to add an and in between the numbers. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now this is pretty simple, but things get very complicated. This is Something Just Like This by Coldplay and the Chainsmokers. And it's just an example of what potential you can reach when mastering eighth notes. You can play some really, really cool songs. Let's analyze it and play it through. So let's take a look at the first measure in the right hand. The first note is a quarter note, which takes up the beats 1 and. Then we have 2 eighth notes for 2 and then and. Then we have a quarter note for 3 and then 2 eighth notes for 4 and. And in the next measure, we have a quarter note for 1 and then we have the rest eighth notes. So 2 and, 3 and 4 and. Let's play that through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now in the left hand, we have something very, very interesting going on. We have a half note and an eighth note that are connected with a tie. And if you don't know what a tie is, go check the link in the description below because in that video I talk about it. Basically, this half note takes up 2 beats, so it's going to be 1 and 2 and. This eighth note is going to be beats 3, not 3 and because 3 and is a whole beat. This is only half a beat. So 1 and 2 and 3. The next note is a quarter note with a dot. And if you remember from last video, the dot basically adds half the value of that note. So it's going to be 1.5 beats. And 4 and. And is a half a beat. 4 and is a whole beat. So it's and 4 and. Let's play that through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And it's the same thing for the next one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to play this with both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That sounds really, really cool. Let's take a look at the chorus of the song, which is my favorite part. As you see, there is a quarter note in the right hand, 2 eighth notes for beats 2 and then we have another quarter note for 3 and then 2 eighth notes for 4 and. And in the left hand, we have all quarter notes for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And in the next measure, we have 2 eighth notes for 1 and. Then we have this little symbol. It's an eighth note rest. That means that you don't play anything for half a beat for beat number 2. Then on and, you play the other eighth note. It's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and, right? And then we go back to 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to play this with both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this song is so much fun to play, and I know that most of you want to play these type of songs right now, but the truth is that you have to put in the work to be able to play something like this. And that's by playing the simple stuff first. The easier things don't sound as good and aren't as exciting, but just give it a few weeks with solid practice for like 10 to 15 minutes a few times a week, and you'll see major progress, and you definitely will be able to play songs like this. So I wrote a book that I teach to all my students that stick to the basics but still sound good. And if you learn all the songs in this book, you're definitely going to be on the road to playing songs just like that. So let's play a song from this book. So in the first line of the song, there aren't any eighth notes, so it's pretty simple, right? We have a quarter note for beat 1 and then we have another quarter note for 2 and then a half note for 3 and 4 and. But let's skip to the second line where we see a lot more eighth notes. We have 4 eighth notes here. The first 2 is for 1 and, then the other 2 is for 2 and that half note is 3 and 4 and. If we skip to the third measure, it's the same thing, but it's reversed. In the left hand, we have eighth notes for beats 1 and in the left hand, and then we have another group of eighth notes for 2 and then 3 and 4 and in the right hand. I'm going to play from the beginning of the song. I'm going to count out loud so that you can hear how this sounds. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So this song is pretty nice. It's not like insane out of this world, but learning songs like these will get you to be able to play songs like that. So I suggest that you buy this book, and when you buy this book, it comes with a video of me going through each song and playing it through, explaining everything, so you can learn on your own with this video. Hit the link in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some value from it. Subscribe to this channel. I post every single week, so if you enjoyed it, stick around for more.